Hey guys, it is NCS Fan 001 here for another one of those trophy list analysis videos. Been a little while since we've done one. Today's game is A Plague Tale Requiem, which I think the game will actually be releasing on the day that this video releases, which is October 18th, 2022. So of course this is the sequel to A Plague Tale Innocence, which was a really good game, would highly recommend. Definitely one that's worth checking out, not just for trophy hunters, but for gamers in general, especially fans of games like The Last of Us, because it has a lot of similarities. So, A Plague Tale Requiem is going to release with 36 total trophies worth 1,260 points. 1 platinum, 4 golds, 9 silvers, and 22 bronzes. So, let's go ahead and take a look at the list. So the Platinum Trophy is called Requiem. That is for earning all of the trophies in A Plague Tale Requiem. So now we have a bunch of bronze trophies in a row. Under a New Sun, Newcomers, A Burden of Blood, Protector's Duty, In Our Wake, Leaving All Behind, Felons, and A Sea of Promises. Those are for completing chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, respectively. Then we have Tales and Revelations, Bloodline, The Cradle of Centuries, The Life We Deserve, Nothing Left, Healing Our Wounds, Dying Sun, and King Hugo for completing chapters 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 respectively, as well as Knights with an exclamation mark at the end. I don't know if I accidentally bumped my mic there. For completing all chapters, that is our first silver trophy. So it looks like we get 17 total trophies in this game just for completing the story, which I think is identical to how the first game was. So a bunch of trophies just for beating the story. Apparently this game is longer than the original, which is totally fine. But I don't think it's that much longer. I've heard it's like a 20-hour playthrough or something like that. So it's not absurdly long by any means. Definitely a little bit longer than the first one, but not like anything overly time consuming. So next up we have our collectible trophies. Herbalist, find all flowers. Apparently there are only 5 in this game. That's a silver. Ornithologist, I hope I pronounced that correctly. There are 7 feathers that we have to collect, so that's another collectible type. Explorer, open all of these secret chests. There are 10 total of those. And finally, we have Immortal Memories for for recalling all souvenirs. That is a gold trophy, and there are 21 of them. So it looks like a total of, about 43 total collectibles, which isn't a ton given the length of the game. So it's kind of nice they're not, overly obsessive over the collectibles. The first game was fine with the amount it had. It was like 1 or 2 per level. It was well balanced. It wasn't really any major issues at all, especially if you had a collectible guide. Now we get to some upgrading trophies, and these are all silvers. Not a toy anymore. Fully upgrade the sling. Improved crossbow. Fully upgrade the crossbow. Handful of pockets. Fully upgrade the gear. Effective instruments. Fully upgrade the instruments. Pocket laboratory. Fully upgrade the alchemy. So this time around we have to fully upgrade pretty much everything in the game. Now, I have read that this game has a New Game Plus feature to it compared to the previous game, to where you should be able to start a New Game Plus to knock out anything you miss in your original playthrough, but that looks like it could be quite a few materials, so I'm going to assume that it's going to be sort of like the first game where you are going to want to be conservative with your materials and make sure that you spread them out enough to upgrade everything over the course of the game, versus using them for things like ammunition. Now, I'm sure that there's going to be a chapter select feature you can use to upgrade things later on if you miss anything, but I would assume that you probably need to be a bit conservative with your materials this time around, because that is quite a few things to upgrade this time, because I think the original game only had 3 things you had to upgrade. It might have only been 2, whereas this one is 5 total, so quite a bit more that you have to do. And now we get to what appears to be our miscellaneous trophies. Night Guard, and a bunch of these are going to be bronze. Extinguish 40 fires. So presumably that ability to extinguish fires from the first game is brought back in this game. So that seems pretty simple. Alchemist, craft 100 ammunition. That is probably going to be unmissable like it was in the first game. Sneaky, fully improve the prudence skills. Fighter, fully improve the aggressive skills. And Malignant, fully improve the opportunism skills. So I don't know exactly what that is going to involve. It sounds like we're actually going to have some skill trees and such in this game. Again, I don't know exactly what that's going to involve. I assume that maybe you get some very light leveling elements where you get maybe like a few levels, maybe like there's some sort of XP system or something like that. I don't know entirely because I haven't seen too terribly much about this game, even though I know it's going to be a good game. But I'm going to assume that those trophies are not difficult, and I'm going to assume that they're not particularly grindy, given that they're all bronze. But I would be wary that maybe they could possibly be missed if you manage to not use skill points or whatever you need to use at the specific times. I'm going to assume that these are probably okay given that they're bronzes, but you never really know with games these days. And now we have our actual, what I would assume to be level-specific trophies, and there's only 4 this time around. So first off, we have Perfect Shot for shooting all the pine cones. That's probably like another, ammunition training type of thing like there was in the first chapter of the original Plague Tale. That's my assumption. I could be wrong, though. And then we have 3 gold trophies in a row. Perfect Throw. Successfully complete all throws in the Crowns game. I have no idea what that is, so we'll have to see what that's like. Old Protector. Interact with all the Old Protector's items in the Sanctuary. That's probably fairly easy, especially if you have like a guide pulled up for it. And then Mercy. Don't kill the guard on the docks. There were several trophies like that in the original game where you had to spare certain enemies in certain areas of the game by doing the puzzles a little bit differently than you normally would. So that's presumably the same as it was in the previous game. So overall, this looks to be a pretty easy platinum trophy. Definitely, probably not any harder than the original game. I don't want to say definitely because I could be wrong. There's maybe some kind of massive difficulty spike. But I'm going to assume that this game is probably going to be around the same difficulty as the original game, but just longer. I do know for a fact that this game is longer than the original, and there are a lot of things you have to upgrade, which makes me think that you are going to have to go into that New Game Plus mode to get everything. So I'm going to predict this platinum to be something like, I don't know, maybe 15 to 20 hours and probably a 3 out of 10 at most in difficulty. I don't know if there are going to be difficulty options in this one. But yeah, that's going to be my guess. It's going to be about a 3 out of 10 and about 15 to 20 hours. I don't know if it's going to be longer than that or if it's going to be shorter than that. I guess we'll have to see. But it looks like it should be a fairly quick and easy platinum trophy. I assume the game is going to be enjoyable because Innocence was actually very fun. Very glad I ended up playing through it. I definitely did enjoy it overall. So, yeah, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Please like, favorite, share, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell if you haven't already. And A Plague Tale Requiem is probably releasing the same day this video goes up on October 18th, 2022.